welcome back to another episode of Thread the Needle. I'm your boy Marvin, and I appreciate you for checking out this video. We are in the middle of war, ladies and gentlemen, so I appreciate you taking out just a little bit of time for your boy to get your sports fix. But nah, seriously, I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded, life be life sometimes, but we back on it, we back at the grind. And as always, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell so you know when I upload. If you're returning, I appreciate you for coming back. You already know what time it is. Make sure you like, comment down below. Let me know how much you missed your boy and all that shit, all that stuff. So, let's get right into it. We're gonna talk about Tatum today and the fact that bro might be coming back this season. Cause, I'm gonna be honest, right? As a Celtics fan, coming into the year, I did not want Tatum to play this season. I just didn't think it would be worth it, right? And I feel like if you were to go and ask like 98, 99% of Celtics fans before the season if they wanted Tatum to come back, I guarantee you they all would have said no. And that's just because we didn't think that it was like we didn't see the Celtics being a top 3 seed in the East with no Tatum. And there's no disrespect to Jaylen Brown. I'm a big Jaylen Brown guy. That's my boy. But even me being a big Jaylen Brown, like Jaylen Brown is probably my favorite player in the league. If not even favorite, he is my favorite player in the league. I did not think that JB was going to lead the Celtics to, I think we're the 2 seed now. I don't know. I haven't checked the standings, but I believe that we're still the 2 seed. But I just didn't see a world where that would happen, right? And now that we're here, JT, Zero, big dudes. What's good, man? You ready? Are you 100%? Because that's another thing. If Tatum isn't 100%, I still say don't bring him back. But if he's 100%, hey, all I'm going to tell y'all is this. Do not count out the Celtics as a dark horse NBA championship winner. That's all I'm going to say. Because now what's happened is that JB already had the confidence that he could be a 1. Now he's solidified that he can be a 1, right? So for Tatum, that means he doesn't need to come back trying to be Tatum, right? Not saying Tatum needs to come back and try to be a role player, because I remember seeing that he said he didn't want to come back to be a role player, which I understand, right? You are a top 5 player. You don't want to come back, feel like you're rushing back into where you can only provide role player effectiveness, right? When you can provide more. But at the same time, Tatum does not have to be top 5 when he comes back, because this season we have a top 5 player right now, and that's Jaylen Brown. Like, Jaylen Brown is more than likely going to be named on the All-NBA first team. It would be very surprising to me if he wasn't on the All-NBA first team. He's in the MVP conversation. He should be if he is. He should definitely be top 3. But that's my point, right? It's like now I think now you have a more dangerous duo, because now Tatum can ease his way back in. And then by the time next season rolls around, he would have had hopefully a deep playoff run. And then, this summer is not rehabbing. This summer is just, all right, let's keep working on our game. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get back to just working on our game. What I think that leaves for the Celtics, though, I think that definitely puts us in a bit of a sticky situation, right? I definitely can hear the talks of that you might have to break up the Jays. I can already hear that coming next year, just because, right? All right, I'm a JB fan, but I'm also a JB truther. I understand why some people might not like him. Now, some of it really do be forced hate, you know what I'm saying? But I can understand why he might rub some people the wrong way, right? Let's take, for instance, the Instagram post that kind of blew up where people were trying to say he was throwing shade at Tatum, where all he did was just post his stats about him being the number one option, basically, and all of that. Which it's like, I don't know what, like, do we want him to not be, like, proud of that? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the forced hate with JB. But sometimes when he speaks, I don't take it that way, but I can see how people would probably think that he comes off a bit cocky. And I think this season did anything but just make that intensify. Because now, on top of him, he's been saying for the past 2-3 years that if he were to have his own team, we could see him doing exactly what he's doing right now. And the real JB fans would have told you that, right? Like, I've been fighting these battles for just as long as he has, saying that, hey, man, I love him on the Celtics. I love him with Tatum, right? But best believe if Jaylen Brown were to get his own team, he would be dogging shit. And that's exactly what he is. Like, and I think now the Celtics and Brad Stevens really, really are going to have to make sure that Tatum and Brown aren't stepping on each other's toes. And really more so themselves. Like, JB and JT are going to have to make sure that they're not stepping on each other's toes, because then I could see that being a bad thing. And I don't think any Celtics fans want that to happen. I certainly don't. I would love to see JB and JT retire together. I think at this point, both of them are getting their numbers retired with the team. JB being the Finals MVP. They both won a ring. Tatum being All-NBA first team. What was it, 3 years in a row? Or actually, I think it was 4 years in a row Tatum was first team All-NBA. So they're already solidified getting their numbers retired. Man, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news to my Celtics nation, but I can definitely see that intensifying, like those talks just coming back. It seems like every year we have these talks outside of the year after 2025, after we won the championship. That's the only year where we have, like, where the talk around the Celtics hasn't been, should they split up JB and JT? I think next year is going to be the heaviest and most dense that those talks have ever gotten. I think that there's a real possibility that, if JB and JT aren't comfortable within their own lanes and their own roles on the team, that could get into one of the other's head. And now it's causing an actual rift between the two. And then that carries throughout the team, because now the team is having to pick a side, whether they want to ride with Tatum or whether they want to ride with JB. And look, it sucks, but it's the NBA, and the NBA loves a good storyline, and that would be a great storyline. I mean, it's been a reused storyline almost both of their entire careers, right? So that's just my piece on it. I think regardless of what happens, I mean, I think if Tatum comes back this season and he's 100%, depending on how long we wait until we play him, I think that will determine how I feel about us in the playoffs. I think even if Tatum comes back to 100%, that doesn't mean that he's going to be coming back and he's still going to be, like, it's going to take him some games to get back adjusted, right? He's got to get back into game shape. He's got to, get back used to getting that NBA physicality because it's different from when you're just training and it's your trainer or whoever else is training with you. It's different then compared to when it's Giannis guarding you or it's Lou Dort or it's Mikal Bridges, so on and so forth. Like when you start facing these elite defenders, it's going to be different than when it's just your trainer or it's just the Celtics guys or the Celtics trainers, whoever is helping him on his own court stuff. I would probably assume it would take him up to a month to probably get back into the swing of things. And it will also depend on who the Celtics match up with in the first round of the playoffs. Right now, we're like I said, I believe that we're the 2 seed. I don't know who's the 7. Yeah, I would have to look at the standings. I haven't looked at the standings in probably like 3 weeks. So I'll have to look at the standings, but it all depends on the matchups for the Celtics, right? Because I still don't like our front court necessarily. I mean, we traded for Nikola Vucevic, which is cool. He's a solid player. I mean, it helped our front court in terms of depth because now we can either bring him off the bench or we can bring Namias Keita off the bench. And, it's okay, but is it a championship front court? I'm not sure about that. I don't really know. Vucevic isn't really the best defender in the world. And, offensively, I like him. I like what he can provide. I think I touched on this in my trade deadline episode. He kind of gives us that Al Horford kind of a role back on offense, but he's nowhere near the defender that Al Horford is. So, that's my only gripe with it. Outside of that, I think, in terms of the other positions on the team, I like our wings. They're okay. Obviously once you add JT back to the mix, that'd be even better. I love our backcourt with Payton and Derek White. And then, you got Delano Banton, who's solid. You got Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez. So we have bodies. And I think we can definitely make for a second round team. I don't know, like I said, depending on who we face in the second round. I don't know if we get further than that, even with 100% Tatum, just because, like I said, I don't know if Tatum is even at 100% right now. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get back right. I don't know exactly how long. I would think maybe a month. It could be longer than a month. It could take 2 months. It could take 3 months. He could never really get into a rhythm this season, and it might just be next year. So it's a lot of different outcomes right now for the Celtics. But regardless, whenever JT announces his comeback, or if he does, we'll make sure to cover it on this channel. So make sure you are subscribed and you tapped in. Now, I want to touch on one more thing before we get out of here. I definitely want to talk about the NFL right now. We got the NFL free agency and like all of the transitions. Well, I think the only team that's using the transition tag are my Colts on Daniel Jones. But then you got the franchise tag, and then some people are actually re-signing deals. But all right, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and give my little 2 cents on should JT come back this season. As a Celtics fan, I felt like I could give a little bit inside of what I've been hearing from more Celtics media people. All right, y'all. I just wanted to hop on here and give my 2 cents on this brewing situation with the Celtics, with JT possibly coming back this season, and how that can impact us this year and up into the future. So, if you're a Celtics fan, or if you just like Tatum, or you just like this content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know your thoughts, and share and subscribe to all of your friends. We are on the road to 100 subs. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. It's Thread the Needle. I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.